Hello there, everybody, people out there in the world, and welcome to the first ever, well, I suppose the first ever for us, RedShark Reacts. My name is Chris Wells. I'm the content manager here at RedShark, and I'm joined here today by the beautiful, the astounding, the wonderful Mr. David Winter. It's okay, man. So, yeah, this is all very exciting. Hopefully you guys can hear us. I've got the chat up just in case, because we've never done this before. This is all new and exciting, and yeah, hopefully this all works. So just be patient with us as we go. So today we're going to be looking, as it happens right now this second, the Canon EOS R event. David, what do you have inside information about this exciting little event going on right now? And here we go. Right, let's go on. The event has started. We've got some shapes. We'll love a shape. Can't go wrong with some shapes. Some shapes and colours. What could it mean? This music, this is... It started scary, didn't it?
The tension is rising.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
Chris, apparently I'm on mute according to Mari.
Fixed it.
No, it's on your end.
Oh, 7, 6, 5. We can see how in time we are, Dave. Are you seeing this in time as well? 2.
No, I'm like a second behind you.
Oh,
no.
This is the magic of live streaming over the internet. We're like, what streams?
Hi everyone, and welcome. I'm Frankie
Oh.
Boo, and today I'll be taking you through a deep dive on all things
Hi,
Canon,
Frankie.
speaking to experts in their field and world-leading visual storytellers about how Canon has reimagined what's possible yet again. Expect some big reveals. There's a lot to share, so make sure you stick
All
around
of
for
what's
the
possible, like in the whole world.
The EOS R system. Since its introduction in 2018, the R system has
Oh.
rapidly evolved. The revolutionary RF mount empowers cutting-edge lenses with stunning optical performance and practicality to work alongside Canon's innovative cameras that drive them with unrivaled imaging sensor designs. With the ever-growing RF lineup, there's something guaranteed to complement anyone's creativity.
Here we go. What do you reckon, Chris? Are we getting the R1?
I reckon R1.
The R5.
It feels R1. It feels very R1-y. Or maybe they'll end on the R1. You know. Oh, there we go.
R5, R3. Are they counting down in R's?
That's what I was waiting. I honestly thought they were counting down on the R's, but I think we've got R3.
They haven't got enough of them yet.
R7.
Oh God, we're going up now. There's no sense of reason to this. I reckon we're definitely getting the R1, and I feel like we're getting the R5 Mark II. They're showing a lot of the original R5 in this montage.
Look at that. I love those lenses. I've always wanted to go with them.
Which one was that? Sorry.
That like big chunky 50.
Oh, the chunky boy.
I love it. Oh, I saw a nifty 50. Camera of my youth there. The lens of my youth there.
What was your first DSLR? Must have been a Canon, right?
It is.
Back
I've got
in
it
the
here.
uni
I've got
days.
it ready for the stream later as we talk through. It was a 550D or a Rebel T2i.
That was my first one as well.
Okay,
Okay.
time to get into it
Come on.
by bringing
Right,
a
so
brand new
come on,
camera
Frankie.
into the EOS R family. In May this year, Canon announced the development of the highly anticipated EOS R1. And people got excited. Why? Because there's truly nothing else like it on the market. The 1 series that started with the EOS 1 over 35 years ago is known for its reliability and incredible performance. So in a nutshell, the EOS R1 is your go-to for news, sports, and fast-paced action. This is the Canon EOS R1, the flagship reinvented.
To capture that iconic moment.
Here we go. The Olympics is going to be all over.
Yeah, it's going to be
this,
Olympics, but not saying Olympics, isn't it? It's going to be, we're good at sports.
To have focus.
Is the word Olympics copyrighted? I don't know how that works.
So they can't talk about their part, unless you are a sponsor.
It's a mindset to see the bigger picture and hone in on the detail.
Yeah, here we go.
That's gone in the blink of an eye.
This has like a Nike or an Adidas advert written all over it.
Except with photos.
The shot before it happens. They've invented time travel, Chris. This is a game changer.
This is such a good camera. It can take you through time.
I assume that's going to be the pre-burst mode, right? I don't know the exact specifics of how that works, but it can capture a photo from before when you press the button.
Visualize the wound and believe in yourself when no one else does.
The power is in your hands. Together, we are one. Capturing the unforgettable.
We definitely won't be forgettable. You won't forget it if you have a photo of it, will you?
They say they're worth 1,000 words, you know, Chris.
Suspending a moment and creating history.
To make the front page,
You have to be the first.
You have to be the best.
Oh, mobile phone connectivity.
Join the legacy. Stay ahead of the game.
Like it.
Let's
We
talk
knew it was
specs.
coming.
The EOS R1 is all about speed and high
Oh,
sensitivity.
yes, Frankie.
We've got
Please.
a lot to go over, so here are just the standouts. The first EOS camera to include cross-type autofocus, meaning you'll never miss those high-speed action shots. We have an all-new high-speed sensor with a 24-megapixel count for high-resolution imagery and minimal rolling shutter.
Oh, the
Yeah.
BSI.
And as you'd expect,
Depth of low light.
the EOS R1 is a multitasker. It can shoot stills and video simultaneously
that.
when in HD.
Oh,
And
wow.
record full 6K 60p RAW internally to memory card. Joining me now is Tibor from
Nice.
Canon to talk us through the brand new.
I find it interesting they are going
EOS
all in on the,
R1.
you know,
Tibor,
the
there's a
sports
lot to
stuff.
unpack
I feel like they've not
here, but I
focused
feel like we should start
this
at
heavily
the
on it
beginning
before.
with
I might be
the
wrong.
history of
The
EOS
it's
1.
that
Can you tell me a little bit more about
one
the history of this
series is
product?
like the professional,
the
the
series
sport.
cameras have been well known
And I
by
suppose, like, sport
professionals
is
for
speed.
decades now.
Olympics
as
is
the EOS
soon.
1 was originally released in
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
1989.
I mean, yeah, the one's
And
always kind of
all
the
of these cameras
flagship,
in the
right?
range, in the 1 series range, have been known for
top.
speed,
The ones that you're like,
quality,
wow,
reliability,
£6,000
durability.
plus, what?
So in terms of, you know,
So,
the range
yeah,
of
you never
cameras
get
that
it.
Canon has, this is really known as the top of the range, the best.
There you
that
go.
Canon
Tibor
has
there
to
said
offer.
that
Exactly.
the
yeah.
one is always
And
focused on
that's
speed
because
and durability.
we
So I
try
guess
to
like
make sure that
action and
these
sports
products
is a
are
natural
actually
bedfellow for that.
Definitely.
delivering what the professionals are needing.
So speaking of quality and the decisions that have gone into this camera, can you tell me a bit more about the 24 megapixel sensor and why that's an important decision?
Yes, so this camera actually features a 24.2 megapixel backside illuminated stack sensor, which is quite important because most of the photographers associate this type of sensor with low light capabilities. But what we did with this camera, we also increased the speed of it in
So
various
that's the thing. I
different
think the
ways.
backside
So the camera
sensor is
featuring
probably more
also
important than
a
the
Digic
24
accelerator
megapixels,
processor
right?
together with the
Definitely.
Digic X. These two processors and
I
the
still feel like
sensor
we've
can
never
actually
grown past
formulate
this,
a really good imaging platform. that
like
really helps with
megapixels, I
the
feel like aren't that
high-speed
important in the
shooting
grand scheme of
various different
things, but
ways.
we
As
never
I
grew
mentioned,
past
we've
that
got
sort of
the
marketing
high-speed
message of like,
readout,
look,
so
the
that it
megapixels
keeps
are
the
higher.
shutter
That really came with,
minimal. And
you know, like
so
camera phones and
this
stuff.
Yeah, not anymore,
sensor working
especially.
together nicely with these two processors and producing amazing image quality.
So with a line of features that kind of covers so many different areas, is there anything that really stands out for you?
So
Is it
will
going
be
to
the
have
autofocus
the
because in this
mechanical
camera
shutter
we
and
have
electronic
deep
shutter?
learning
Because
algorithms
that's
that
been the
really helps
rumor.
photographers. So for example, I'm not a professional photographer, but I went on shoots before to test out
It's
the
just going to
camera.
have everything
And
possible.
because it has the action priority functionality, it made me
We've
feel
had
like
deep
I'm a
learning
professional because
algorithms.
I
We
could
haven't
use
had
it in
AI yet.
various
For those of you
different
playing
I have a feeling
camera
that's them
announcement bingo
talking
at home.
around AI.
actually get decent images with really high hit rate. And that's also thanks to the cross-type autofocus that this camera features in the sensor. And basically what that means is that we have in the photodiodes 2-directional sensitivity, so it can pick up on both directions, vertical and horizontal, which makes it easier for the camera to focus on any subjects that are further away, very small in the frame, or also when you've got some stripy shirts, for example, on a jersey.
This is all speed.
Or another good thing about this is
Everything
for
is
sports
speed,
photographers
like,
is
'cause
that you
that's
can
the
easily
issue
shoot through the
with
net
digital.
from behind the goalpost, because that's where some of the cameras in the past were getting confused with the
there was a
wires
big
of the
focus
net.
on
This
solving the
camera
whole
is not
rolling
gonna be
shutter
killed by
thing
that.
up front.
Yeah.
So Tibor, a lot of people watching this will be expecting this camera to have global shutter. Can you talk to me about the decision to not have that?
What?
Yeah, literally we don't need global shutter because these cameras are actually featured with really fast readout speed sensor.
We
in
don't
the
need
EOS
it.
R1, the
We're
sensor
done
readout
with it.
speed is actually 40% faster than in the EOS R3. And compared to the 1DX Mark III mechanical shutter, we're actually same speed, if not a little bit faster. We just would like to make sure that the camera delivers the quality that the professionals are expecting from
So
this
does it
camera.
not have a mechanical
I've
shutter
just
then?
spotted this
Because
as
that
well,
was the
which would
rumour,
look
is that it would
great
have both,
on my
mechanical and
mantelpiece, but
electric.
I'd imagine that's not what it's for. What is this?
This is showing the internal frame of the product. It's actually the magnesium alloy body that is making the whole product quite light. And of course, it will be sealed around to make it more durable.
I honestly thought that was like a machine
water-resistant
thing.
and
That's like
dust-resistant
the
as well.
guts. That's
So
like
this is
the bones.
key for
The
robustness.
strong
Oh,
bones.
Nice. It's
That's
also
quite
great for
morbid when you say it
ASMR.
like that. Oh, yeah, now I feel like I'm looking at a skeleton.
Oh,
Thanks,
look at
Tibor.
that was good old ASMR.
There's so much to
That's
discuss
what we
about
wanted
this
right
camera,
now.
but let's hear about it in the field. Here's Canon ambassador Alex Grymanis, an incredible lifestyle and sports photographer
Incredible
who
Chris,
really got his hands on the
That
EOS
is an
R1.
incredible name.
My name is Alexandros Grymanis. I'm a sports and lifestyle photographer. When I started photography, my parents had an old film camera, Canon camera.
I've actually used that
I started
lens.
with that, and when I had
It's
the
hard
first chance
on
to
the,
buy a
hard
digital
on the back.
camera, I stick with Canon.
I've seen them with
and
the
I'm still working
tripods
with
just
Canon
for the
since
lens.
then.
You have a tripod for the
When
camera.
I first
The
grabbed in my
monopod for
hands
the
the
lens.
1DX, I felt
Had
like
to photograph
I
an
turned into,
AGM
like,
for the
pro
cooperative
photographer,
with
and
that
it was the
lens,
same
which is
exactly
probably the
when I
least
took the
impressive
R1
way it could be
in my
used, I think.
For me, R1 is one of the fastest cameras out there.
Speed! Look how fast it is! Look how fast the cuts are! It's so fast! He's capturing it all!
Sensitive to vertical and horizontal detail, and that helps me a lot because everything is in focus, and the AF system is so.
Really going in on the
so
autofocus. I feel like that's
me, the best feature
normally
is the action
Sony's domain
priority.
to show off
Yeah, I
about.
think
Football, I
Canon
have
had
to
always
use
been
my instinct
second to
on
that, but
where
I
the
think
ball can be
like,
the next minute or what
they were
will
always they were
happen.
top
If
for
the
a
camera
long time.
can do
and
that
I
for
have a
me,
feeling
then
they're claiming it back
I'm
now.
pretty happy about that.
Because at this point,
40 frames per second.
all
that's
autofocus
crazy,
is
right?
pretty.
In sports photography,
great.
the subject moving
I can
really,
definitely
really
see the
fast in
same
front of
being
your
with
eyes.
Canon.
So if you're shooting 40 frames per second, you will capture.
Well, I
what
suppose
we-
I
can
mean,
find
Sony's two big
new
things they always talk about
frames
is
while I'm
autofocus
shooting
and low
40 frames
light,
per
which are
second.
both things you're going to need
I have in my
for
camera the in-camera
action photography,
upscaling,
high-speed
which is I can
photography.
just
So
pick which photo
And they're
I
getting
want to
around
makes
upscale,
sense.
and
the
it can
issues
give
of
me, like,
rolling
4
shutter and
times the
stuff, which is
resolution for
basically
the
like the
photo.
last hurdle of that.
So about the ergonomics,
Low light,
I'm
but also
so,
rolling shutter. 'Cause
so
I know a lot
excited
of
about the new
photographers use
grip
film
right here. It feels
to
really
make
good
up
in
for
my
the
hands.
fact that digital
And
still
the
has that rolling
viewfinder,
shutter.
it's bigger than we had before, and it fits
that is a
really
beast.
close to my eyes, and that's
Gotta
the main
watch a
thing.
film
With
on
the
that.
R1, everything is correct from the first moment that I took it into my hands. So
I think
yeah,
Martin
I can say that
Scorsese
I'm
said his
super
preferred
excited
way for you to
working
watch his
with
films
the
is
R1.
actually on a Canon R1.
So that, my friends, is the EOS R1, the ultimate assistant for headline grabbing shots.
Frankie's back.
This is a camera that allows you to stay ahead of the game. Why? It has the highest level
Oh,
performance.
that necklace
top
can't be
speed,
safe when you're
new
playing
levels of
basketball.
resolution,
The fact that
and
you can
rich
see that
cinematic
necklace in
quality.
such detail.
These are just some of the reasons why the EOS R1 is the perfect match for pro sports or wildlife photographers and videographers alike. Moving on now. The 5 Series has developed a strong reputation with professionals who choose it for a variety of multimedia
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
applications,
5D,
both photo
not 5D.
and video.
That's the old one.
It's time
5R Mark
to add
II.
to that reputation. Introducing the EOS
Come
R5
on,
Mark
5R.
II.
Two.
I've been challenged to shoot and edit a music promo
Here we
and some
go.
stills on this, the new Canon EOS R5 Mark
Oh,
II. We're going
who
to be putting the
challenged
camera
you?
through its paces. We're going to be trying out all the exciting new
You
features.
just got a
as we
box
shoot
in
this
the middle of
music
that. It's like,
promo.
make a video
This
now.
epic location. But before we get
I
into
want to
it,
play a
we'll
game.
introduce
Okay.
the R5 Mark II. So first up, the new backside illuminated sensor, which shoots 8K raw video. impressive 45 megapixel stills. There's also huge improvements in rolling shutter reduction. Next up, the autofocus has had a massive upgrade, meaning that tracking fast-moving subjects or things in the dark has never been easier and it's never been more accurate. In terms of filmmaking features, you've got 8K 60, or you can shoot 4K 120. There's also some really cool video features like false color, waveform monitor, and C-Log 2 as well, which is a really, really cool addition for filmmakers. Got ultra-fast 30 FPS burst capture, and you've got pre-roll for stills and video now, which means you'll never miss a moment. So the body has had a little bit of an evolution.
There's definitely been times I wish I had.
You've got a larger EVF now,
Yeah.
with this really cool eye-controlled autofocus
100%.
system. There's now a full-size HDMI port, and it's all packed into this really
Eye-controlled.
comfortable design that's a real pleasure to shoot with.
That full-size port, man. That full-size HDMI port.
So,
You don't know how
the
much
EOS
that's
R5
needed. The
Mark II.
mini one
Let's
is
talk
terrible.
details. The EOS R5 Mark II comes with an all-new, back-illuminated 45 megapixel sensor, capable of shooting up to 30 frames per second on a silent electronic shutter and reduced rolling shutter. Just like with the R1, the R5 Mark II has a mind-blowing hit rate. Canon has evolved its dual-pixel intelligent AF with better tracking and precision, so you never miss a
Every
moment.
time I see AF, it
Video
still
on this
makes me
thing
laugh.
is no joke, with up to 8K 60
It's
resolution
intelligent
video
AF.
in light raw. And
I
you can
know.
even shoot
I wish
stills
it didn't,
and
but it
video
does.
at the same time. Now we're
you
joined
think
by
you'll be
Aron
shooting
from
much
Canon,
8K,
who's gonna
Chris?
take us through the amazing features of the EOS
my laptop
R5
would like
Mark
it.
II. Let's get into it, Aaron. Can you talk to us about
It
the
looks so
development of the
small
second
compared to
generation
the
camera?
R1.
Absolutely. So one of the first significant
baby
developments
brother.
has to be the sensor. So we've developed this from the ground up. It's a BSI
I've met
sensor,
him.
45
I've just
megapixel
realised I
resolution.
met him at, NAB.
It captures light much more
Or
efficiently.
IBC.
All right.
Therefore, there's
Name
loads of improvements to
dropper.
the camera. You get better low light
He's really
performance,
nice. He's a
better
good dude.
autofocus, but more
Very tall.
significantly,
Well, that's good to
the
know.
speed at which we can read
I'm
this
glad
sensor
you're not
has
like, oh, he was
significantly
horrible.
improved.
He
Yeah,
threw
I
a
know,
camera at me.
he was honestly lovely.
So now we're getting less
got to
rolling
talk
shutter
about
on video,
my,
and we're able to get
got
continuous
to talk about
bursts
my
up to
camera
30
with him,
frames per
my
second on
550D
this
with him.
camera. But on top of that, we've also got the processing capabilities that have really improved. So not only do we have the Digic processor that EOS R cameras are known for having, but we also have a Digic accelerator. And these two now work together to process data at a rate we've never seen before. And that's allowing us to do things like the 30 frames per second, but also have autofocus that's not just fast and responsive. It can work out who the primary
There's always a
player
little
is in
part of my
sports
brain
team
that goes,
and analyze
30
that
frames
data,
per
focus on
second
that
doesn't
person,
sound
even if
that
they're
impressive
which is
just
phenomenal.
because of the
So
nature of what
both
30
the
frames per
processing
second
as well
is,
as
but
the
actually
sensor
the
have
technology
significantly
pulling that off
Wow,
is
so a lot to be
legitimately
excited
quite
about in
impressive.
terms of features, but it's not just that, it's
Absolutely.
versatility
Like,
as well that we're talking
and if
about.
you're just
This is a
shooting
great camera
normal
for
video,
hybrid
it's
shooters,
all
isn't
you
it?
need.
Absolutely. So the
Like, in
5
fact, it's a bit
series
more
is
than you
known
need
for
if you
this.
go
It's
down to
known for
25 or
having
24.
capabilities not just for professional photography, but also for video users. Ever since the 5D Mark II, this camera series has been renowned in the industry for that combination. So the 5 series is known for having our very best imaging
I had a
technology
5D Mark
and our
II
very
and I
best
loved
filmmaking
it.
technology, which
I
actually
always
comes
wanted
from the
one. I
cinema
never was
range,
able to go higher
combined
than
in
my
this really
550.
compact, nimble, and powerful camera.
Awesome stuff. So
They
let's
shot
talk
bits
a
of
bit
Breaking
about
Bad on the 5D Mark II,
pre-continuous
I
shooting.
remember.
Am I right in thinking that,
That
the
was
R5
there.
That was the
Mark
thing,
II
you
can
could
start
you
shooting
could
before
shoot
you
on
actually
it
press
some
the
like
shutter button?
really
Yes,
high
they
level
can. So
stuff
now you can
if
get
you had the
15
the
frames
glass
of
and the other
raw
stuff to go
images
with it.
before you've even
Yeah,
hit that shutter,
definitely.
so you never miss a moment. And we also have this function for video
How does it
capture as
know?
well. So you can record 3 seconds or
It's still
5
magic
seconds
to
of
me that
video
things
capture
can do that.
Before you hit the record button, which can be really useful for a lot of different scenarios out there.
So
How
if
does it
you had
know?
to
It
choose
must just be
your
recording
own personal
permanently,
favorite
right?
feature, the R5 Mark II.
How is
what
that
would
not
it
a
I
massive
think it has
battery
to be
drain?
the filmmaking capabilities, because we've taken a lot of the professional
Yeah.
features you see in our cinema range,
be
such as
interested
the
to
EOS
see
C400,
the difference
and put them
in
into this camera.
performance and
Things like
battery
exposure
based on that.
control, like waveform monitor, having maximum dynamic range. With
Have you noticed this
Canon
one? They seem
Mark
to be
II,
going all in
12-bit
on the
raw
video,
recording.
whereas
This is
the
8K up to 60
R1
The
they
other
were
was
sort
saying-
of really focused
well,
on the photos.
Yeah, because I
So a lot of
suppose
those
if you're going to be
features and
taking
even the
photos of the
recording
Olympics or
formats
sports
are now
events, you're going to have
universal
enough money
between
to
the
get an
cinema
R1.
range and
That's
this
what you
camera.
get it for.
So this can
Wildlife
easily be
photography.
a B
This is
camera
more,
on a
I
super
think, for
high-end feature
people
length
like
film
us, for
and
the
fit right in with a
prosumers,
professional filmmaker.
for the
So I
people that
absolutely love that
want
we're
to do
bringing those
more with it,
features to
and
the
it's
R5
mainly
Mark
more
II.
video focused. That
Right, and
they
let's
even
talk
evoked the
about
5D
these
Mark
grips
II,
as
you
well.
know. that was the video DSLR.
There's a huge range of accessories.
Well, I think the 5, anything with a 5 in, they normally do focus on video primarily because of, I think, like the 5D Mark II and the 550. Like, I think certainly, I don't know if it's true in the States, but over here in England at least, I feel like that really kicked off the DSLR filmmaking.
Once you attach that, so that not only is it extending the battery life, but it's extending the cooling capabilities to really push this camera to the
I'd heard about this.
limit.
This sounds
amazing. So, for example, you can record 8K 30 frames.
Yeah, this was doing the rumor rounds
just on the camera body alone. But the moment you attach that, you can get up to 2 hours of recording of 8K 30p raw.
Unless you're filming it in a fridge,
incredible.
then you can do it for even longer.
A lot more flexibility to the camera if you really want to push it in certain video aspects.
I like that they're expanding the use of that battery grip. It's not more time.
Phenomenal piece of hardware. Here's hybrid content
creation. I mean, they're pretty bulky things, right? So I suppose the more you can bake into them.
Definitely.
So my name is Ant Rubenstein. I'm a director,
also
and photographer.
A very important scene in The Bear was filmed in a fridge. So actually, your point about that was quite salient.
There we go.
30D.
And they could have filmed it for hours.
Slowly upgraded through the Canon ecosystem. When I first started,
that was their big problem. They just ran out of battery and were like, "Well, wrap it there, gang."
Camera and a stills camera, very much separate things. And I think that's the the really cool thing about this new camera is that you don't have to compromise. You can shoot stills and video simultaneously using the hybrid stills and video function. And it's that hybrid nature that just makes it so much more empowering as a creator that you don't have to prioritize stills or videos. You don't have to get out a different body for each different shot. You can just get it all in one. These mirrorless cameras still feel very much.
Oh, I want one, Chris. I want one.
No, me too. That's the problem watching all this stuff.
Everything about it feels familiar.
Just draws you in.
I'm blown away by the autofocus capabilities of this camera. You don't have to
I love the Canon interface. It's one of my favorites as well.
For you, we were shooting in low light.
Because like that was my childhood. I'm still nostalgic for it.
Hair around doing 360.
Yeah.
Every time the camera was able to pick her up again.
I always have a soft spot for Canon. They were my first DSLR and my first like proper filmic camera, I suppose.
There's a lot of megapixels. There's a lot of detail. There's a lot of clarity in there. It's really cool to be able to resolve that much detail.
That autofocus is mad. Because normally when they go off,
just gives you so much choice,
and then they come back on, the autofocus like, I don't know anymore.
You get yourself into the edit.
But the fact that it can pick it up that quick.
So I was really excited on our shoot to
in quite a dark environment as well. I think they've shown that off on purpose.
Definitely. We were doing this locked off high angle top down shot, and we weren't going to be able to reframe or to change lenses during the shot. So shooting 8K was really important because then we can punch 2 times in and still get a 4K image to be working with.
Oh, look at that!
When you're shooting video handheld, you are introducing a huge amount of vibration and a huge amount of movement into the camera. So image stabilization is super important. We mounted the camera onto a dinner trolley, and we didn't have to worry about the vibrations coming in from the dinner trolley at all.
Well, yeah, that thing ain't gonna be stabilized at all.
Literally in my hand like that, I could almost pretty much put it in my pocket. I'm amazed.
How big are your pockets?
Tech there is crammed into such a small body.
He owns cargo pants and nothing else.
It's really
I could fit him in my dungarees, but then you don't have a lens. You know,
this camera is able to deal with
you've got 2 pockets.
Challenging situations you might find on a video shoot, and still able to perform up at the highest possible level alongside dedicated, much more expensive video cameras.
Yeah. I'm glad Canon are pushing themselves back up there again.
So there you have it. Canon's powerful EOS R5 Mark II.
Powerful.
It's been a quiet period for them product-wise, but this is a strong showing, I think.
They've been building. They've been cooking. We let them cook.
They've been cooking.
The EOS R5 Mark II does it all.
Oh man, just will get my hands on one. Who do we know at Canon? Is John Cannon a person? If we email john@canon.com, that's got to get through to someone, right?
Look at Canon's latest
Must be someone, John at Canon.
Oh,
look
at more.
I'm Christine Ng.
Oh, hello.
What are we doing? That's a really good question. We're here to make something really fun.
C400. Look at that.
I've been very fortunate to be invited to use the newest Canon.
I did not see this coming.
No.
With the Canon EOS R1.
This was hidden.
We were trying to come up with an idea.
Did not see the rumor of this one.
Its new features.
I think they like sprinkled rumors about the R5 to mask this one.
Definitely.
With my friends is something really exciting for me. We're shooting at
those
the
colors
United
are
House
stunning.
Theater. It's a historic theater in Washington Heights, New York. As a DP, I'm always
in the Heights.
advocating for a place that has inherent texture. I always want to be able to almost feel like I can touch the image. I'm really excited to utilize the C400 to showcase this.
I wonder if that's her actual Canon film camera as well. because that would either way that would be cool to be like, right, here's a film camera as well, and it's a Canon.
Shoots 6K full
Yeah.
frame. That's huge. And I'm really excited that I can get exactly
Look
what
at
I
that
want
dark,
in
look
terms
at
of
that low light.
exposure, dynamic range, with something so small.
Oh, it's not
Triple base ISO,
a flick of grain on that, is there? Or at least grain you wouldn't want. It's still got that kind of film feeling.
It looks so much bigger on that rig, and then when you actually see the size of it, it's not actually as big as you think.
Rigs always do that. Never trust a rig.
Canon's new PL to RF mount adapter goes hand in hand with the EOS C400 and its native RF mount. Now I have access to not only Canon's amazing lineup of RF lenses, but also a wide range of incredible lenses from across the industry.
Who's running PL these days? I don't know if I could give you the...
So there were moments where I couldn't really see the monitor exactly, but I really trusted the autofocus. And so when I tapped in, it locks in. I feel assured that it's going to be...
Oh, loads. Okay, yeah, you got Reds, Lomos, Aries, Canon.
I was really surprised at how lightweight it was. And it was just really easy to pick it up and go and just be inspired by the space and get shots. Sometimes as a DP, you have these fantasies.
I almost don't know if I like that for a cinema camera. I feel like I need that heft to it.
That's what your rig's for, David. Your rig is the heft.
I'm able to get the shots in 5 minutes.
Because then you can stuff that camera in like a little cupboard or whatever for like one shot, and then for those. So, yeah, see, that made it look huge with the battery and the lens.
Excellent place for actress Barbara to kind of destroy something.
I mean, more and more of the inner workings of the... More and more is being passed off to like the computer, essentially, isn't it, within the camera? So I guess the bodies can get smaller.
In every situation it's put under. As a DP, I work in so many different genres, and now I have one tool that works across all of them. I'm really excited to bring it on my documentaries, on my narrative work, both short form and long form.
It does seem to kind of appeal to that
on a safari, on a documentary,
one or two man crew
on a soundstage in New York. Yeah, that's nice. Having that versatility with something
you
so
could
small and get the power of 6K.
Yeah, look
you could definitely build a run and gun crew with this, couldn't you?
Make your little documentaries and
we got all the shots we wanted. I'm so excited.
steal shots out on the subway.
Why'd you say that like you hate them? Make your little documentaries.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that. I think it's because I've been that documentary maker.
Oh, that's a big documentary.
Cinematic
Look at that team.
EOS C400.
Frankie's back.
The first high-end cinema camera to join the EOS R system. It features a backside illuminated stacked sensor delivering 16 stops of dynamic range.
Oh, they're all in on the backside illuminator, aren't they?
Industry-leading triple base ISO system. With a compact design that's perfect for professional filmmaking, live production, ENG, and virtual workflows, the C400 truly redefines versatility. Now,
running the gamut.
For a VR filmmaker, the Canon RFS 3.9mm STM
sorry, Frankie, I'm not.
Is a
I've seen about this lens.
Storytelling.
They just look, they look like just goggles.
Viewing angle, Canon's first VR lens with the RFS mount opens up 3D VR content creation to a wider audience. Sam Baumel took it for a spin to give his thoughts.
So can you just plonk it on any camera?
My first camera more than 20
Let's find out. Looks like it.
Canon camera, and I've always shot Canon since then. It's just so awesome that Canon has decided to invest.
Looks like it's got little eyes. It's a little Wall-E.
My name is Sam. I am a VR.
Oh my god, I need an animated film about that camera immediately.
You are able to transport your audience.
How do you become a VR filmmaker? That's what I want to know. That's going to be so hard to show in this. Like, it just looks like normal footage, but you know it's not.
It's the big hurdle of VR, isn't it? How do you demo it or show it off? Or
the battery lasts for a long time. The file sizes are small, and the post-production workflow is simple and easy.
You know, that's something I've not looked into. Is how much VR filmmaking, video making is actually happening. I mean, enough for them to want to build a lens, right?
Definitely.
So there are no peripheral distractions. Everything you see is the intention of the filmmaker. I think that psychological effect is really
there you go. That's how they could show it. It's like, yeah, it's just two images, one for each eye.
Different.
It just doesn't give you. I mean, have you experienced VR at all?
No.
Love it.
It's I've got a PlayStation VR, so my baby's first VR system, but I've had to go on some heavy duty ones, and it is like the second you experience it, you get it, but you have to experience it.
How image making and viewing images can inspire shifts in your perspective. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Maybe frame your face with your hands a little bit and you can lunge toward the camera.
That definitely was not a real direction.
Vintage playing to a reflection of herself.
They were like, quick, look like you're directing. And it's like, okay, move your hand like this.
An antique stereoscopic photograph from the turn of the last century where you had a woman with a prop.
So presumably something is feeding the two images back into a playback monitor so you can see it like roughly how it would actually look, right?
I don't know, yeah, because I've not seen his monitor setup.
Then you have the
that's what I'd be interested in, because like, yeah, we saw the post-production and it was just, you know, the two shots there, so I'd be interested to see what that post-production workflow would look like.
That's the point. Do you have to edit in VR? Because VR footage, when not seen through a VR headset, is not, you wouldn't be able to sit and edit it. Like, you would have to be in VR, I think, or yeah, I don't know. That's, found a bit of a blind spot for us.
It's also strange that he's talking about battery, but like he's talking about the lens. So
but you're essentially shooting. You're essentially shooting two videos at once, right?
But I think it's on the single frame. It just splits that frame. So if you're filming it in like 8K,
I am just so excited.
It splits it down.
What people create.
Does it? I would have thought it would have been two separate feeds essentially. Or yeah, this is. I think what we've learned here is that we need to go off and look into VR filmmaking. So I have many questions.
As you can see, the EOS R system.
I'm so sorry to anyone that's watching this for information, because we have nothing to give you. Please tell us how it works.
Shown here in the RF 24 to 105mm f2.8 and the RF 35mm f1.4, bringing the worlds of photography and videography closer together.
Chris, I'm going to say something really bold now. A real hot take. Are you ready?
R5 Mark II.
I just really like lenses. I'm a big fan of lenses.
And the flagship EOS R1. A game-changing force for capturing fast-paced action with precision.
Game-changing.
Also introduced powerful new lenses and tools to transform your shooting experience and grow the incredible and ever-expanding RF lens family. With these announcements, Canon is redefining the limits of creativity and helping you to push boundaries.
I was really hoping we were going to see something from the lenses. Oh wow! Okay,
and that's that.
I was really. And here's some lenses, by the way.
Yeah, it literally was, wasn't it? It goes, and by the way, we've got some really cool lenses. But you know what lenses are.
Do you think that was them trying to have their sort of mic drop moment of like, they've dropped all of those amazing cameras and they're like, you know what? You can have some lenses too. We don't even care.
Yeah.
Have a lens.
That was mad. So thoughts. What are your thoughts and takeaways, Mr. David, of this?
Oh, I think, we knew we were getting... Yeah, let's do... Well, yeah, so what? We got the R1 first.
So we got the R1. So what are your thoughts on the R1?
We knew we were going to see it. We've kind of heard the rumblings of what it's all about. I think it's lived up to the expectation, which is what you want. I think I don't know that there was anything that made me go, oh, I did not see that coming at all. But that's actually okay, because everything that was there, I think, was so impressive. And like you said, I really do feel like we've got a shot here. Not full disclosure, I'm not a fanboy of any one camera brand or anything. I like them all to do well, because then they push each other further. And I think, we're seeing actually some competition here from Canon. It feels like they're getting back in the game, especially in the flagship sort of range. But yeah, what do you think?
Do you know what? I was just checking. I was just because I had the Canon R1 page up before, but it had all it had was, we're working on it. It's going to be great. And then literally I just went back and they just updated that website straight away. There was a person ready to press that button to bring up what they think. But no, absolutely. Like the 1 series is, the thing is, that's the top of the line. It's got everything. So it's almost like, it's at that point, it's just how well can they iterate what's already what's already great. And normally on the lower, on the lower side, they test out the new features to make sure they're all working. And by the time they release a 1 series, it's like the top of the top, the best of the best. And I think the amount of time that Canon has spent doing that for a mirrorless system, I really think is going to pay off here, because like you said, like I don't remember the last like 1 series or anything like that, especially with I don't even know how old the R series is, the mirrorless. I've not been following Canon that hard in it for a while, but it looks amazing. And like you said, like it's almost like kind of placing its stake in the ground, go, right, we're back. We've got the big, beautiful beast of a camera. I've always wanted to use the word series, because that you can always tell, because they're so big. Like, if you draw a camera, it's rectangle, but like the top of the line professional ones are square. And like when it becomes a square camera, that's when you're like, right, this is the pro, this is the big bad boy. And yeah, the fact that they've like basically got rid of the global shutter in lieu of having electron, especially for the speed and for what you'd want out of that. And I think the fact that they addressed straight away things like what is it called, the wobbly effect, what's it, there's a word for it, the dwarf filter, the something filter, where like when you have like a really fine pattern, it can like make the camera look all weird. And I think the fact that they're addressing that straight away, no rolling shutter, no wobbliness in their images, I think is going to really put them in good stead. Because like I said, a lot of the people I know that are sports photographers, for like the higher end ones, like the top paid ones, they still use film, because like they have issues with the rolling shutter. They might have a digital one to get a few on, but their primary deliverables, or the things that they have fun, like that they do a lot of stuff with, is in film, because you don't have to worry about that wibbly wobbly shutter, especially on like the super fast ones. Obviously there are good solutions for that, but I think that Canon are very much going, no, this is going to be one of the best ones. We kept an eye on it. It's not happening at all now. I think it's really good.
Yeah, it shows. I think it shows they've been listening. I mean, the R series, I think, is 6 years old, or coming up to 6 years, or something like that. So they've not, it's not like they've just rushed a flagship or a one out the door from it the second they've got it going. They've clearly taken the time to sort of see what's working, see what isn't, see what people are asking for. But yeah, it's a good flag in the ground. I think this is what I love. Whenever one of them does something like this, the others then have to follow suit. So it just keeps pushing everything forward. So you're going to see this across the other ranges, and hopefully improvements upon it as well over the next few years.
Do you know the one feature that like they kind of like glossed over a bit, but I actually think is another really interesting one, is the fact that it captures stills and video concurrently. So the fact that, you can simultaneously be filming and taking all the photos you need. Like, if you want someone just to get like a little like reel of like, here's what the day's stuff going on, the fact that you don't need to switch, or you need to switch modes, I think is really valuable for those kinds of things. Especially like it's only in full HD from what I remember them saying, so that's 1080p.
Yes, they did say that.
So, but for vertical video or for other bits, if you are getting some really good photos of your stars, and as well as doing that, just as a random side story that I remember, I skydove quite a while ago, but they had a guy, and what he did was he had a helmet with like an action cam, and I think it might have been a Canon 5D, but I won't say, just like a normal camera, and they were stacked on top of each other, so it looked like he had a bit of a cone head, really long. And he basically would have the action cam was always recording, and then he'd have to be like to take those photos as he did it. And
that does not seem like an efficient setup.
Well, that's what I mean. It doesn't seem like an efficient setup, and obviously, but like the fact that now you can just record it simultaneously, he doesn't need as tall a hat. That was literally the first thing I thought of. That was the very specific solution I imagined working with it.
That's actually who I've got the press release here. They said they designed this primarily with skydivers in mind, so they could reduce the head load on descent. It's hey, you got to know your niche.
You know what? they will be using a lot of cameras skydiving, because if you're going to jump out of a plane just once, you're going to want to keep the record of it, you know, like, and getting the high quality footage of it. Like, there's a video of it on my YouTube channel, which I will not plug, but it is there, and like the footage of it was still actually really good, because like yeah, if that is a thing that you're going to guarantee to want photography on. A football game, everyone's seen a football game, someone kicking. It's just when they win, you want the crowd of them being like, ah, you know, the camaraderie, you know, the people like patting each other on the back with the crowd in the background. You know, there's only so many photos of someone kicking, you know, on that game you could get. But no, I think it's going to be amazing. I really think there'll be a big jump in the quality, and I wonder, I'm going to keep an eye out now on the Olympics to see just how much, how many R1s I see out there, if like testing them out. I can imagine Canon's spoken to a few people to test them out before.
That'd be a fun game. I'll show you some pictures, and you can guess whether it's an R1 or not. We'll come up with a funny name for it. But I did think when they were talking about the taking video and, you know, photos at the same time, I know full disclosure, don't get mad at me for people watching out there, that there's a big difference to it. But part of my brain went, well, isn't that just making a video? Like, a video is just a lot of photos really fast. So you sort of...
Yeah, it's the raw, though. It's the quality that you get.
I didn't enjoy that silence. I didn't enjoy that silence there.
I will be the one that I will write my angry comment. I will write my angry comment. No, it's different. You don't understand.
No, I know. I'm being a silly Billy. But yeah, there was just a little part of my brain that went, oh, that's just what video is. You're just describing video. But no, I know it is cool. And I realistically, I think I would have used that quite extensively in previous jobs and stuff, when you're like working for a client, and half the time the way you impress them is you take screenshots out of your video and stuff and send them and go, by the way, I got some nice pictures too. So if that process is streamlined and improved, I think agency photographers and videographers over the globe will be happy with that development. But yes, from the other end of that, I mean, yeah, so the 5, you know, the R5 is kind of the not the entry level one. R5 Mark II, yes, let's get that right. But yeah, it's not the entry level, but it's probably the most entry level we've seen out of the cameras on display today. On the other end of that, obviously, we had the C400 cine camera.
Yeah.
What do you think?
The C, what is it? Well, it'd be the C300, wasn't it? That's one of those cameras that I know a lot of people use when they are just videographers and like want that quality. And to be honest, it's one of those things that like is just there. It's just always, since they came out, it was just, oh yeah, everyone's using that for primary video needs. Like I said, especially like little documentary makers or people that are going out just renting a bit of kit, filming for a day. It seems to be like, you know, the exact kind of thing that you want. I've never used one. I've always wanted to. I'm more of a hybrid guy. That's been my whole life. I've always been photos and video at the same time, and I love doing photography with them as well. So yeah, and I do know that, like, yeah, the low light performance, the colors on them, and the quality of footage you get at a fairly reasonable price. Like, once you go up to that level, you know, then at that point it's then all higher end cinema cameras that then are like 5 times the price. So like, it does seem to be like the really good one. So it'd be interesting. Like I said, that was like the great standard that everyone liked anyway. So it's like, it's that, but more. So I'd be interested to see quite how much difference it is. Like, that autofocus on it seems really good. Like the Canon, a big thing that the Canon was talking about this time I noticed was the autofocus.
That and the low light, right?
Yeah, and those are the two things where they're very much like, those are the things that Sony had kind of wangled a bit of a crown away from them for a while, especially low light. Because like autofocus, like, it's pretty good, like all around. Like for sports photography, I think that's the last hurdle now, is the fast moving, quickly lock onto things. And
well, it's funny you say that, but the interesting thing I think is, I think people's knee-jerk reaction is still, if someone goes, I need a camera that's got good autofocus, or I need a camera that's good in low light, or both, I think people just say Sony. I don't think they'll even know necessarily if that's true. Like, I don't know if they're all, I mean, obviously a lot of people will, the experts, but like in a general sense, I don't know if people have actually looked and compared the last couple of years worth of cameras. There's not a massive jump in it, but it's still, Sony just owns those terms in a kind of marketing sense. But I think, yeah, this is a real push from Canon to bring it back. I mean, I was just looking at the newly released like spec page and product page for the cameras, and like looking at the C400 here, they're just pushing low light autofocus, like almost all of their main talking points are aimed towards that. So they want it, Chris. They're hungry. They're a vampire. They're out there. They want to feed in the dark, in the low light, and they want to see you very clearly while they do it. And they're ready.
And do you know what? It's that versatility, I think, that that everyone's going for now. There's been a lot of complaints about films and TV shows looking too dark, because we've gotten to a point now where like more and more and more they're able to just basically film in natural light, like like they did with Barry Lyndon back in the day. And it is very much a case of just the big lights are great if you want glamour shots or you want it to look in a very specific way, but like at this point you only need like one or two lights to kind of set your scene up to how you want.
So now you're actually turning me off of it, because that's been a nightmare. The whole, I think Game of Thrones was the first big offender that got everyone talking, but it's all over the shop. Like you got like a stunning 4K OLED television that you're watching in a pitch black room, and you still can't see a thing because it's been just like the whole thing's been mixed and mastered on just a system you couldn't have access to in your wildest dreams. So I take it back. I hate this camera. Throw it in the bin, get it out there. Bright lights and out of focus is what I want moving forward. No, I'm joking. It looks stunning. I mean, the colors and everything in the their sort of sizzle reel there they had for it was just beautiful. I thought.
So I've got the spec up here. In fact, I can do a little transition over to this screen as well. So I've got it up here, and you'll see that it's not you, David, but the audience at home will be able to see that, like, yes, we've got the 6K full frame BSI frame, backside illuminated sensor, which I don't know enough about. They mentioned that a lot, and I was like, that is something I don't know much about. So I need to like come off this and learn a bit more about backlit sensors, because that sounds completely alien to me. I kind of like to imagine that, like, when you're holding the camera, it's literally like glowing. You've got like this glowing beam of light coming out the lens, like poof. It's like a torch. It just looks like a torch, but it's backlit.
I must admit, it's sort of, I get the gist of it, and then, I mean, the name largely tells you what it is, but yeah, the actual exact science of it, would have.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so we've got 6K full frame, 6K full frame, triple ISO, 16 stops of dynamic range, which is like, once again,
so many stops.
That will lead to like you being able to basically do anything you want in the dark.
Oh god, so it's getting more menacing by the minute.
Yeah, loads of buttons on the side. That's the thing I remember from the C series. There's so many buttons on the side. Always good for customizing.
Is that what it says on the spec page? Loads of
customizable interface. Stay in control with dedicated buttons for quick adjustments. With up to 18 user assignable buttons, you can customize the camera to suit your style. So that is a dream for any set. And this is the kind of camera that like I see people buying, and then they customize it to what they want. And then it's like, hey, we need you to go film this. And they're like, right. And they have their kit bag, and it's got everything they need in. They've got all the buttons. But if someone else tries to use that camera, they have no idea. They accidentally...
So this is always a trap for me and my ADHD addled brain, because I would set all 18 of those buttons to do something ultra niche and specific, and then just immediately forget what every single one of them does. And I'd spend the first 20 minutes of every shoot going, it's one of these buttons. Oh, God.
No, so yeah, we've got 4-channel 24-bit recording audio, which I think was in the other one, but no, that's still really good. I love good audio in there, as well as recording versatility for professional formats, including, let me just switch over to the screen, from professional formats including cinema, raw light, XFAC, or like basically loads of good MP4 formats. advanced metadata capture and 4-channel audio, and record proxies simultaneously with SD and CFX Type B slots, which once again, I think is definitely a feature I've seen before, but it's definitely a welcome feature for if you are a sole videographer, you hate photos, everything has to move, your images have to move. I think that's the right thing to go for. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Do we have any other thoughts, Dave, before we round off today's live react?
Just, I need to go Google VR lenses and filmmaking. Like I understand the concept of it, but yeah, I think that the fact that there's lenses like this coming out from the big names in the space just shows there is clearly a market there for it. But
I definitely heard rumors and talks about that before, and the one thing I do know is that, like, once again, everyone loves them. Like, those lenses, the people that use them are like, yes, this covers everything we need. So, you know, that guy in the video seemed very happy with it. And the fact that he's able to do it on such a small camera, I think will be really interesting for the next phase and wave of VR productions where, you know, you like when cameras got smaller, you know, old films, the cameras were massive. So then it used to be like on these giant rigs and they had to move, or if they moved at all. Then like they got a little bit smaller, and all of a sudden now they got action cams where people can like put cameras like through books, you know, with those macro lenses, or you can, you know, just take it on a train and like walk through and nobody pays any the wiser. I think being able to do that with a VR setup is even more interesting.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. I think my thing is like, I'm still not convinced the VR revolution is gonna happen. Like, I think we've seen, obviously Apple's just come out. Yeah, I don't know. It's got, well, it can't, right? Everything's got to get bigger or smaller, I think, in the tech world. Like, nothing can just stay in a fixed continuum forever sort of thing. But we'll see. I mean, Apple's obviously just come out with the Vision, whatever it's called, Vision Pro Max Super 19. Yeah, like that's probably the thing that's going to actually put it on most people's radar to a degree, because it's Apple, right? But yeah, I don't know. I'm waiting to see that adoption. I mean, Sony put out the PSVR 2, which admittedly is just for gaming, so it's more of a niche use case. But they put it out and all but abandoned it. Like, there's just the games aren't coming out for it.
Now, yeah, they stopped production of it. Yeah, everything less than like, was it a year after it came out? Not even that.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, clearly there is a market for it currently. Just, is that market going to grow? Is it ever going to become a true household thing? Like, is it going to be a normal thing to go into your mate's house and there's just a VR set next to their TV or something? But we'll see. But Canon clearly thinks there's some money to be made there, and hey, I wouldn't say no to trying it out and seeing how it works. And yeah, I think we're kind of coming to the end here, so we'll give as much time to lenses as the presentation did. There were lenses. They were there. We saw them briefly.
They were definitely there. And the thing is, the Canon lenses, like, are always great. So it's all, they know that's just we know there's some lenses, enjoy. Like, it's like all that, you know, I didn't even absorb any information from them because it was so fast. It was just like, here's 3 lenses, and I was like, oh, that's a weird little holder thing underneath, and then that was it, gone. So
yeah, I sort of wouldn't have talked over that bit of the announcement if I'd known that was going to be the entire announcement. I thought we were going to get some information, but hey, I look forward to seeing, you know, we can look that up afterwards. And yeah, speaking of afterwards, obviously there's been a lot of equipment covered, a lot of cameras, there was some lenses briefly. We've been talking over this and giving our thoughts on it, but if you want the full detail, the inside information, all of the specs and everything, obviously you got to head to redsharknews.com. That's why we're here today. That's who me and Chris are doing this for, which you probably already know because you're on the RedShark News YouTube channel. But yeah, this has been our first, well, mine and Chris's at least, first ever live stream for RedShark. And yeah, just got to throw a shout out to my man Chris here. I dropped this on his lap at about 7 a.m. this morning as like, this would be a cool thing that maybe we could pull off very quickly. And by we, I mean you, Chris, and you did it, and you did it with aplomb. So well done. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you for the idea, Mr. David, and there will be more of these. Like, this is the first step. You know, it was a bit rough and ready. I was quite proud about how it kind of ultimately came out, but there are going to be more. Hopefully, I'll be able to get my head around a bit more Streamlabs type situations, more cool transitions and other bits. And soon, you know, who knows what other amazing live treats we have for all of you out there in the RedShark verse.
And have you got, I mean, as part of your pulling this together last minute, do you have some sort of catchy sign-off prepared that you want to give the audience, or some sort of pun you can do?
Well, you know, it's RedShark from me, and it's RedShark to you. All I could think of was like red shark, and then all of a sudden I started going like Jaws, blood in water, and I was like, that's not an appropriate thing to end on. No, red shark end. No, I think no, this is good. Please leave any comments or anything. It's like, honestly, we love reacting and talking to you guys, and yeah, this is all going to be all amazing. And it is goodbye from me, Chris Wells.
And goodbye from me, David Winter.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a great day.